Education has changed my life, and I owe everything I have to education, even though I wasn't always probably the best student. As educators, we sometimes can get frustrated. We can sometimes wonder, are we really making a difference? And let me just tell you, yes, you are. In preparing for this, I thought of a story of a gentleman who was out on an early morning walk on the beach, and he saw in the distance someone that would bend over, pick something up, and throw it in the ocean, and then walk a few steps, pick something up, throw it in the ocean. And when he got closer, he realized this gentleman was picking up starfish that had been washed ashore and was throwing them back over the wake. So he turned to the gentleman, he said, "Sir, what are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm trying to save these starfish." He said, "Sir, there's hundreds. You're not going to make a difference." And with that, the older man picked up another starfish, threw it back in the water, and said, "I made a difference to that one." And that's what educators do. They make a difference one life at a time. I grew up in a home, my father was an alcoholic, left when I was 1, which was really a blessing because my 2 older sisters had to deal with it more. I didn't really remember any of it. My mom had gotten married when she was 15, so now she's left raising 3 kids without so much as a high school education. I saw how hard she worked. I saw the sacrifices that she made. And yet, when it got time for me to go to college, I went to a small school. I was in Texas. I went to a small school in Tennessee. And I'll be honest, I mainly went to play basketball. And all I did was try to stay eligible, just get by, survive with as little work as possible. Ended up marrying a young lady that was another student there from Eastern North Carolina. I dropped out of school for a few years, had a good job. I was in sales, making good money, had a company car, had country club membership. But I look forward to lunchtime when I could read the sports page and 5 o'clock when I could play whatever sport was in season. And I decided finally I've got to go back to school. I want to coach, I want to be in education, I got to go back to school. So went back, earned a degree at the small college I had been attending, went to the University of Tennessee, earned an undergraduate degree in education, earned my master's. You know, sometimes in education, you're not always rewarded immediately. I was hired by a small school called Maryville College to coach women's basketball, fast pitch softball, teach a class or 2, be intramural director. They wanted to pay me $6,000 a year, but being the shrewd negotiator I was, I got them to 10, okay? But I did it for love. I did it for, I mean, if I was still there today, I would still be loving it because that was my passion. And you know, that's what I encourage my players to do, is to pursue a career that you're passionate about, okay? Because no matter how much money you make, if you dread 5 days a week, it's not worth it. But while at the University of Tennessee, I got serious about college. I got serious about trying, I was motivated. I wanted to excel in the classroom. And so I ended up with a GPA above a 3.5 and graduated with honors, okay? But I'm not saying that to bring attention to me. What's amazing about it is those educators I had for K through 12, how they prepared me, even though I didn't really want to learn. They got enough in me. When I was in high school, this was before the curriculum is the way it is today. I took the easiest courses I could. And if I got in a class that required too much homework, I dropped it and took another class. And in spite of taking the easy road all the way through, my high school GPA, I probably shouldn't tell you this, or they might fire me here. My high school GPA, 2.18. I still have it today. But in spite of that, those educators prepared me somehow for college and gave me the foundation I needed to survive and to excel. So, coached at Maryville College. I was out recruiting, ran into K-Yow, legendary K-Yow, out recruiting. We started talking. Next thing I know, I'm interviewing for an assistant position. I get hired as an assistant coach here. I left to be a head coach, and after about 15 years at UT Chattanooga, K-Yow's sister, Debbie Yow, hired me here as a head coach. Now, through the interview process, it took 2 days. And the second day, the final meeting, we had dinner. And I said, what kind of time frame are we on for making this hire? And she said, oh, probably 6 or 7 days. I said, wow, I really blew y'all away, huh, with this interview. But I got over it. She hired me, I got over it. Until a couple of years ago, she hired a guy named Kevin Keats as the men's coach. And when she got up to introduce him, she said, during the interview, I knew within 15 minutes this was our coach, okay? So it kind of put me in my place. But again, education is what's provided me with this opportunity. And we can all get frustrated. We've all had great, in my case, had great players that maybe weren't as motivated as me. And you've had people, students, that maybe didn't have a love for education, even though you saw great potential in them. But I would just encourage you to, be patient with them, keep inspiring, keep teaching. Again, I'm reminded of Coach, we may not always see, I encourage my players, like I said, to pursue things that they love instead of the money all the time. But there was a guy, a Van Chancellor coaching friend of mine, who was coaching at Ole Miss, and he got offered the job with the WNBA Houston Comets. And he went out to talk to his dad about it, who was out plowing a field, and he waved his dad down. He said, I'm thinking about taking this job in Houston. He said, son, you're from Mississippi. You're not going to be happy down there. And he said, Dad, I don't know. I think I'm going to take it. He said, son, all your friends are here. All your friends are here. He said, but Dad, they're going to pay me a whole lot of money. He said, well, son, you can make new friends, okay? So that's the thing. You can have both, because I think if you pick a career that you're passionate about, you're going to do really well at it, and you're going to excel. And so, again, you may have students, and you may not know the impact you're making on them right now, but down the road, you're going to get letters, you're going to get emails, you're going to things that are just priceless from education and that experience. And like I said, I owe that, all my professors, teachers, coaches, I try to go back and thank them every chance I get, because I wouldn't be here without them. So let me just encourage you to do the same thing. Keep inspiring, keep saving starfish, keep changing lives. Thank you.